Ever felt lost at a fancy dinner? You're not alone. But once you know the unspoken rules, every move feels effortless. From where to place your napkin to the quiet habit that can ruin your presence, this is how elegant women navigate fine dining without second-guessing a thing. Napkin etiquette. Before the wine list even lands in front of you, your napkin is already on stage. Yes, that simple square of cloth is your first little statement. So don't just toss it around like it's a paper towel at brunch. Once you're seated, fold it in half just once and place it neatly on your lap. Not your neckline, not tucked into your waistband, and absolutely not abandoned in a crumpled heap by your plate when you're finished. When you get up, it rests gently on your chair, like it's waiting for you to return with a scandalous story. Now, let's talk about the wait. And no, not the kind where you're wondering if the waiter forgot your table. I mean, the gracious pause before eating. Even if you're eyeing that bread basket like it's flirting with you, don't start until everyone has been served and the host begins. Waiting shows poise and also keeps you from being the one person slurping soup while everyone else is still talking. As for that dramatic lineup of forks and knives, don't let them rattle you. The trick is simple. Work from the outside in. First course, use the utensils farthest from your plate. Second course, move inward. Dessert usually hangs out at the top, like a diva waiting for her spotlight. Once you know this, you'll never panic at a place setting again. Next up, let's tackle wine glasses, finger placement, and the secret social contract behind passing the salt. Cutlery logic. If you've ever sat down at a fancy dinner and thought, is this a salad fork or a mini trident? Many have quietly panicked in the same seat. But here's the secret. The table is basically giving you directions. The rule? Start from the outside and work your way in with each course. Like peeling an onion, but far less tragic. That tiny fork way out to the left? Probably for salad. The soup spoon that looks like it could double as a mirror? That's yours for the first course. Each new dish earns you a new set of tools, and the placement is your cheat sheet. No one's expecting you to memorize the whole Downton Abbey rulebook. And dessert? She's special. Her utensils usually wait above the plate, like the grand finale of a fireworks show. Sometimes it's a fork and spoon duo, sometimes just one. Either way, they're not there for decoration, they're your dessert wingmen. Also, a quick tip. If a course comes out and you're staring at your plate like it's a pop quiz, take a quick peek at what others are doing. Quietly. It's not cheating, it's social strategy. So breathe easy. Once you get the rhythm, cutlery becomes less of a puzzle and more of a dance, and you, darling, are leading it with confidence. Once your hands have mastered the plate, it's time they met the glass. Let's talk wine, water, and what your fingertips should and shouldn't touch. Glass rules. When you pick up a wine or champagne glass, always hold it by the stem, not the bowl, not the base, like it's a mug of cocoa. The stem. Why? Because you're not trying to warm your carefully chilled Sauvignon Blanc with your fingers. It's not soup. Holding the stem also keeps the glass clean and free of fingerprints. No one wants to sip rosé through someone's thumbprint art. But here's the real secret. It's not just about temperature or cleanliness, it's about posture. Holding the stem naturally encourages a gentle, upright wrist and a more graceful gesture when you raise your glass. It's one of those tiny things that subtly elevates your presence without you having to say a word. And if you're drinking something bubbly, that stem keeps your champagne crisp, effervescent, and oh so social. Clutching the bowl turns your glamorous flute into a sad science experiment in hand heat and flatness. Also, don't swirl your wine like you're casting a spell. A light swirl is enough, and only if you're not at risk of baptizing your neighbor's lap in Merlot. If you're standing and sipping at a cocktail hour, watch how you hold your glass while talking. It should be steady, elegant, and never used as a prop. The way you carry a glass says just as much as what's in it. With your glass perfectly poised, let's turn our attention to something deceptively simple, the salt and pepper. Because believe it or not, even those come with their own set of quiet rules. Pass with poise. If you need something, the butter, the bread, or a dash of salt, don't lean, stretch, or stage a subtle reach across the table maneuver. Just ask, a gentle, "Would you mind passing the salt, please?" Keeps the moment graceful and the table undisturbed. And when it's your turn to pass, always send salt and pepper as a pair. Even if someone only asked for one, they should never be separated. It's one of those old school rules that still hold strong, and once you know it, it feels natural. Be sure to pass items directly, hand to hand, without making a production of it. No sliding things down the table like it's a board game, and definitely no, they'll grab it eventually handoffs. Every gesture should feel thoughtful, not rushed, not sloppy. And please, no dramatic salt shaker flourishes or butter tossing theatrics. Keep your movements elegant, quiet, and minimal. The goal is to make everything feel seamless, like the table runs on grace alone. These little exchanges may seem unimportant, but they speak volumes about how you move in shared spaces. How you pass the bread is never just about the bread. It's about awareness, presence, and a touch of polish. At this point, you're practically gliding through the dinner. But there's one more detail we need to address: your phone and why it absolutely does not belong on the table. No phone zone. Once you've passed the salt with the finesse of a seasoned diplomat, there's one more thing that can quietly derail the entire mood of the table: your phone. Let's just say this plainly. Your phone does not belong anywhere near your bread plate. It doesn't need a seat. It doesn't need to peek out from under your napkin like it's part of the conversation. Keep it on silent and out of sight, ideally in your bag, or at the very least, out of arm's reach. It's one of the simplest, most powerful ways to show respect for the people around you. If something urgent comes up, and I mean actually urgent, not a text about whether you've seen that one viral video, excuse yourself quietly. Step away, check your phone discreetly, and return without turning it into a dramatic re-entry. No one needs a sorry, work emergency performance over dessert. Fine dining is as much about presence as it is about place settings. When you're glued to your phone, you're not really at the table. And if everyone else is present, it only makes your distraction more noticeable. Phones on the table interrupt more than conversation. They interrupt the atmosphere. They say, I might not stay fully with you, even if you don't mean to. Keeping your phone tucked away isn't about being strict or overly formal. It's about creating space. Space for connection, better energy, and moments that feel uninterrupted and intentional. Because when you're fully present, every gesture, even the way you lift your glass or offer a smile, carries more grace. And that's the kind of elegance people remember. Of course, all of this poise can quietly fall apart if you overlook one tiny habit that happens before the first bite and lingers long after dessert. Dining cues. Once the phone is tucked away and your focus is back on the table, let's talk about something quietly powerful: cutlery signals. Yes, your knife and fork are doing more than moving food around. They're actually speaking on your behalf. And in fine dining, knowing how to use them without saying a word, that's next level elegance. When you're pausing mid-meal, maybe you're chatting, sipping, or just taking a breath, rest your fork and knife in an inverted V shape on your plate, with the fork tines facing down and the tips pointing toward each other. It subtly tells the waitstaff, I'm still working on this, no need to whisk it away. Finished? Then shift your utensils to the 4 o'clock position, both knife and fork placed parallel, handles resting on the rim of the plate, blades inward, tines up. This is the universal cue for I'm done. No dramatic waving or napkin tossing required. These cues are quiet, but they carry weight. They show that you understand the rhythm of the meal, when to pause, when to finish, and how to do it without drawing attention. And if you're ever unsure, take a breath and follow the flow of the host. Confidence doesn't mean knowing everything, just knowing how to stay composed. How you move at the table says more than you think, and now you know exactly what to do. But elegance doesn't stop there. If you liked what we covered today, this next video goes deeper into beauty, grace, and the quiet habits that set a woman apart before she even says a word.